Thank you, Chairman. As mentioned, my name is Declan Smyth. I'm a statistician in the demographics section of the Central Statistics Office. For the next few minutes, I'll go through data we have available on population and migration statistics. First, I'll briefly talk about the data sources, then have a look at the long-term trends, including population trends since 1841, and an overview of migration since 1951 in the context of the Republic of Ireland, and examine some more recent trends, including the population and migration estimates, April 2013 release, and for recent years, population and migration by broad nationality, emigration and immigration by destination and origin, emigration and immigration again by age group, Irish nationals by net migration, as well as a view of the population and migration statistics from Northern Ireland. For the Republic of Ireland, one of the sources of data we have on population and migration statistics is the Censuses of Population. A census of population has been carried out every 10 years between 1841 and 1911, as well as 1926 to 1946. Between 1951 till present, we've had a census every 5 years with two exceptions. There was one due in 1976 but was cancelled due to budgetary reasons, so a census headcount was carried out in 1979 instead, and the 2001 census was postponed to 2002 due to the foot and mouth outbreak at the time. Another important data source is the Quarterly National Household Survey, formerly the Labour Force Survey. This is the principal source of information for the estimation of the gross annual migration flows for the intercensal years. Migration estimates are also compiled with reference to movement in other background migration indicators, such as the number of personal public service or PPS numbers allocated to non-Irish nationals and the number of certain visas issued to Irish nationals to a number of destinations including Australia, US and Canada. In addition, data on national insurance numbers equivalent to PPS numbers issued to Irish nationals in the UK is also referenced. Looking at the historical population trends, this graph illustrates the change in overall population over time. The population registered a decline of just over 6.5 million in 1841 to just under 3 million in 1926. The effects of the famine of 1846-47 and the subsequent heavy population losses due to emigration in the latter half of the 19th century and the early 20th century are the main reasons for this decline. The overall population level, which remained quite stable at just under 3 million between 1926 and 1951, declined to reach a low point of 2.8 million in 1961. The 60s, 70s and the first half of the 80s witnessed a decline in emigration and a relatively high level of natural increase, accumulating in a population total of excess of 3.5 million in 1986. After a slight fall between 1986 and 91 due to mainly a resumption of net outward migration at the end of the 80s, the upward trend in population resumed in the early 90s. Both natural increase and a significant net inward migration contributed to a record population growth between 2002 and 2006, with the result that the 2006 population was 50% higher than the low point of 1961. Despite a return to net outward migration in the years leading up to Census 2011, the population continued to grow strongly to 4.59 million, due mainly to the high number of births of recent years. This graph illustrates population change, net migration, and natural increase, births minus deaths, from 1951 to present. And what you'll see from the graph is the importance that migration has on the population total, that the population change follows the net migration change over time. Now, this graph shows net migration broken down by emigration and immigration from 1987 to present. This shows that the net outward migration experienced in the 1980s, the strong net inward migration during the late 90s and the last decade, and then the net outward migration again from 2009. The recent change from net inward to net outward migration has been dramatic, as we've gone from a peak estimated net inward migration of 104,800 in 2007 to the current net outward migration of minus 33,100 in 2013. In fact, we just published the population migration estimates for the year ending April 2013 last month. The main results of this release was immigration in 12 months to April 2013 is estimated to have increased to 55,900 from 52,700 in the previous year. Immigration also increased over the same period to 89,000 from 87,100, and these combined changes resulted in a total net outward migration of minus 33,100, which remained broadly constant with the net outward migration of minus 24,400 in the previous year. Natural increase over the same period was 40,800, a fall of 4,100. The combined effect of these components was a small increase in the population, bringing the population estimate to 4.59 million in April 2013, an increase of 7,700. Now looking at some of the components of population change since 2006 in more detail. I'm first referring to immigration. This graph shows that immigration in the year to April 2013 is estimated to be 55,900, a rise of 6% from the 2012 figure of 52,700, but a fall of 63% from the peak 2007 immigration figure. Immigration among Irish nationals is estimated to be 15,700, while immigration among non-Irish persons was 40,200. Moving on to emigration, this slide shows that emigration from Ireland in the 12 months to April 2013 is estimated to have reached 89,000, an increase of 1,900 or just over 2% on the 87,100 recorded in the year to April 2012, and almost double the estimated 46,300 in 2007. Emigration among Irish nationals continued to increase from 46,500 to 50,900 over the 12 months to April 2013, while emigration among non-Irish nationals fell from 40,600 to 38,100 over the same period, and in line with the 2011 levels of 38,600. Irish nationals were by far the largest constituent group among all emigrants in 2013, accounting for 57%. Therefore, in April 2013, net outward migration is estimated at the minus 33,100 already mentioned, remaining broadly constant with the previous 12-month period. However, net outward migration has been driven by Irish migration flows. The outward migration among Irish nationals grew from minus 26,000 in April 2012 to minus 25,000 in April 2013. Over the same period, net migration of non-Irish nationals has gone from a net outward of minus 8,400 to a marginally net inward at 2,100. Now looking at the population by nationality, comparing the proportions of Irish nationals to non-Irish nationals, you'll see that in 2006, Irish nationals accounted for 89.8% of the population. In 2013, Irish nationals are estimated to account for 87.9%, a slight decline compared to 2012, which was 88%. The decline in the year ending April 2013 is largely due to a fall in natural increases and the change in the net migration flows between Irish and non-Irish nationals noted already. Turning our attention to migration in 2013 again, and looking at migration by origin and destination, produced the following graphs. First, examining emigration by destination, this graph illustrates that the UK is the most common destination, followed by Australia. Then looking at immigration by origin, the grouping rest of the world, with Nigeria, Brazil, China, Philippines and Pakistan being some of the more prominent countries, is the most common point of origin, followed by the EU 12. However, the net outward migration is very much centred on the UK and Australia, countries with strong links to Irish emigration. Now taking the last 3-year average percentage distribution of all migrants by origin and destination produced these results. You can see the percentage breakdown there. You might actually see them a wee bit better than I can from here. But you can see a typical trend of what we had seen in 2013. And likewise again for the immigration, with the rest of the world being quite prominent at 25%. Again, turning our attention to migration in 2013 and looking at migration by broad age groups, produced the following. First, examining immigration by age group, we can see that the 25 to 44-year-old age group has the most numerous immigrants, closely followed by the 15 to 24-year-olds. Then looking at immigration by age group, the 25 to 44-year-olds are again the most numerous, but this time the 15 to 24-year-olds are considerably less. This means that net outward migration we're experiencing is very much centred around the 15 to 24-year-old age group. Again, taking the last 3-year average percentage distributions of all migrants by age group produced these results. For the immigrants, again, they were in line with what we'd seen in 2013 when you spread them out over the last 3 years, with the 25 to 44-year-olds accumulating the biggest percentage, followed again by the 15 to 24-year-olds, and likewise for the immigrants, the 25 to 44-year-olds represented 50% of the total, with the 15 to 24-year-olds considerably less. Looking at Irish nationals by net migration since the economic downturn in 2008 produced the following. The number of Irish nationals to have immigrated come into the country is estimated to be 121,000, while the number of estimated to have emigrated is a minus 201,000. This means we have an estimated net outward migration of minus 80,000 Irish nationals since 2008. This graph illustrates the trend in net migration for Irish nationals over the last 6 years. Now, before finishing, looking at the population and migration trends in Northern Ireland, we see that the population in Northern Ireland has also experienced growth in recent years. The population has grown from 1.66 million in 1996 to 1.82 million in 2012, an increase of 10%. However, like the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland has gone from a net inward migration to a net outward migration in recent years. Net outward migration commencing again in 2011, with just under 50% of immigrants destined to other parts within the UK and 45% of immigrants originating from other parts of the UK. Although the net migration in recent years in Northern Ireland is low, this is disguising the fact that the inflows were of the order of 23 to 24,000, while the outflows or emigration was of the order of 24 to 25,000 a year. And that brings me to the end, so I hope you find that information very useful for your discussions. Thank you.